What is going on, everybody? I hope you're having a great evening. My name is Bleaves. It is getting absolutely crazy in the crypto market. Guys, if you didn't, you regret it. If you did, you're happy tonight. I told you guys what I was doing, I showed you guys what I was doing, and I've been making out like a bandit. And I hope you have too. I hope you've been listening to me. I hope you signed up for Fair Desk. I hope you signed up for BingX. I hope you signed up for MEXC. I hope you signed up at Pionex. I hope you signed up. I hope you signed up somewhere. Maybe you got on Gate.io somewhere. I have links in the description all the way down here. I hope you signed up for TradingView. I hope that you started using some of the tools I've been telling you to use, and I hope you looked at them, and I hope you did the same thing that I did. And I was telling you what I was doing, and I hope you made a whole bunch of cheddar today. Bitcoin pumped 1,000 points, and it got Joe Biden so furious that Joe Biden is now asking for more congressional power so that he can go after cryptocurrency. Why? Because somebody made a donation to Donald Trump's campaign. So I think they want to prosecute or something like that. I'm just kidding. That's not really what happened, but it's a little bit weird that Joe Biden is coming after crypto just days after the what's that lion ass heifer's name? Johannes. The Native American chick that works in this. Elizabeth Thunderheart Warren. Uh, she came out and said, "Yeah, all of this blah 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 is blah blah blahing," and then he said, "What? Yeah, that is what I want to do, buckaroo. Rub the hair on my legs, baby doll, and I'll make your dreams come true." Or whatever Joe Biden says. I don't really know. I don't watch what he does. Anyway, yeah, a lot of crazy stuff going on, but crypto, there's all kinds of news happening. Look, guys, we are at the start of a bull run. It's You never know, there could be a correction. And in fact, we're going to give you some news today that says it's probably going to go down, possibly, maybe, could be, sort of 20%. But you know what? Everybody was saying that today. What was Ben saying today? Ben today was like, we the Bitcoin top had popped and that we were done with the run. And what happened during the live stream? We hit a new high. So nobody really knows what's going on in the market except me. And this is not financial advice, but I'm always right.
It's your boy Bleed. Everybody listen up. Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket. That crypto wallet. That bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 It's been a long day. I mean a long week. Maybe a long year, so let's get something clear. We're gonna stock up on some party favors later on. Tell everybody they're invited, you should come along. Best to bring your good foot. Ladies gonna be dancing on the ceiling, cocky and appealing, possibly revealing, getting sideways like a bridesmaid as she vibrate. If you a lightweight, hope you hydrate. We gon' tip the bottles back, busting out the fat sacks. People wearing costumes, chewing on a mushroom, something like a wonderland. Understand? Going down the rabbit hole with my kinfolk to another land. Damn, I said we do it like this. Magic carpet riders on some third eye shit. Mr. Pine Cones come a long, long way, so everybody get sideways. Sing it. I can't wait till Friday. Everybody's getting sideways. Pass the bottle back my way. Everybody's getting sideways.
All right, you homunculuses, we're going to talk about cryptocurrency. We're going to talk about what's going on. We have a message here today. For those of you that weren't paying attention sleeping under a rock, don't know what's going on. MMAI had an interesting day. So they have a moment here where they decide that they're just going to take uh, $200,000 in liquidity or something like that, 200 ETH in liquidity out of the liquidity pool. Austin leaves the team. They, by the way, most of the people who are involved are not even in hindsight bad people or anything like that. They need the capital in order to fund the project and continue to fund the project. And they already got millions from investors. There's taxes, there's all of these different things, and they put Austin in a very bad situation because he had been on their team, he had been pushing them for a long period of time, and he had been working for them and with them. And sometimes these things don't work out, right? Austin was also heavily involved in the beginning at Terrarium, and Terrarium just went sideways. And sometimes you can't predict when these things are going to happen. You have no idea. You got good teams, you got good people, and they just don't do good things. And by the way, that does not mean that they've done anything bad. But just because you don't do something bad doesn't mean that you do something good. So they took 200 ETH out of the pool, which is I'm like I don't know, it was a bunch of money, and everybody is now wondering what's going on and whether or not they should continue to continue to invest and stuff like that. And this is a tough market, and when you don't have trade volume, when you have this pie in the sky dream that this bear market's going to disappear and we're never going to have it again, we're just going to be in a constant bull market. When you convince yourself of that and you don't manage it expectation, we're all guilty of it, by the way. If you don't manage your expectations appropriately, then this is the kind of wild ass shit that happens. So probably get demonetized for that one. No, probably not. Probably they'll just be like, "No, you can't let kids watch this" or something like that. So just some absolute crazy stuff happening today, and I'm there for it all. In the meantime, Bitcoin goes absolutely out of its mind. I'll show you what I did. By the way, I got out right before it started pumping like crazy. So I'm going to show you the level of regret that I had today because it was fantastic. So we went into we had a couple trades. Now remember, we had a couple of trades, right? And we had the first one for $60 and we had the other one for $49. I got those right after the live streams kind of died down. So, we had $109 for the day. And then I got this one for $208. And what I did there was it was a 7.5%. I got in at 35,277 and then got out at 35,389. But look at this one right here. I got in right here at 34,753 and got out at 34,801. And basically, at this point, I'm just scalping, just trying to grab a few bucks off of each one of them because I was mad because I missed that $7 on that transaction over there, right? So really, I was just trying to get that back and continue the streak of green, 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 green. We had a lot of wins in a row. So I'm in here at 34,753. I get out at 34,801 because I'm just not feeling it. And the next thing I know, it doesn't take an hour or it doesn't take like, I think it was 20 minutes. Let me rephrase that. It didn't take 20 minutes. Like I've stepped away from my computer and I came back and Bitcoin was almost at 35,000. And I was like, what the f is going on here? Like it just went out of its mind all of a sudden. And, just missed out on that move. So what I did is I got in at 35,277. And by the way, when I did that, what I did was I got in, it was on this move right here. And so what I did was I thought, you know what, I'll put $300 in and I'm on this orange line right here, 35,282. Well, actually, it was a little bit above it. It was at 35. It was like 35,300. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to put $300 in. We're going to see what happens. And then I set a DCA down here at 35,200 and 35,134 for some smaller amounts. And then all of a sudden, my open price became 35,277, and the total was 2.3 Bitcoin. So then I waited on that for from this area. It just started running, and I was like, you know what? I'm taking the profit right here. Took a couple $100. I mean, the fees on this were enormous. Like, because when you're doing a couple Bitcoin transactions, then the fees on it are a little bit loud. But $57 in fees, $48 in fees, $45 in fees. So it's pretty expensive. But the overall, we made 320, $320 on the day. Not the giant $1,000-$2,000 rip. Now, I think if we would have done that, that would have been about $6,000. But here's the thing. When you take a win, you take a win. Remember, this was $300 the other day, and we've turned it into $4,653 so far. So good win. Now, and I'm off the market right now. I'm not making any trades. I haven't put myself in any positions right now. What I did also do over here, remember, I've got a smaller bag that I'm working over here on MEXC. And that bag, we started with 500. Now we're at, a couple days later, we're at 731. So we've made $231 in profit. And on my order history here, this is the one I did right here, $22 profit. Fees are a little bit less over here. But what I did was I took a bone long, and I took the bone long at, what was this? I took it at, where the hell was it? I filled the price at 71.5, but the order history here was we started it at 70.7. So it was up to 72.6 for a little while, and it was like $50. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to let it ride. And then it started coming back down towards the 200 SMA. And I thought it's probably not going to bounce off the 200. It's probably going to come down and connect again with the 50. And then I thought, at this point, I should just probably take the profit. So I took the profit, a couple of bucks, and now we got an opportunity to get back into a different position. Probably going to use less leverage, and I'm probably going to, just see what happens over here. So not sure exactly what the play is yet. We're going to look at that as we go. But we got a lot of news to cover. We got a lot of shit going on here. Breaking news right here. This is the big one, I think, of the night. U.S. Treasury official says President Biden's administration wants new powers from Congress to crack down on crypto. Spoiler alert, they're not getting it. They won't make it through the Republican House in order to be granted new powers in order to take a tax on crypto. And it doesn't matter what they are at this point. There are enough people in here that believe in freedom that they will not allow something like this to happen. They will not give the federal government more power. Now, there are plenty of people that will give the government more power, but there's not going to be enough to give them some kind of sweeping ability to attack something that is not the problem. Remember, what we did learn was Liz Warren, hiya bunga, she was lying her ass off, that raggedy heifer, and she was not being honest about what was going on with cryptocurrency. And even the people that she cited said, yeah, that's not really true. So I think that this is a misguided attempt at, and by the way, when I say that it's a misguided attempt, I don't mean that it's mean-spirited. I don't mean that it's malicious. I don't mean that it's, it's nothing more than being misled and leaning into what you're being misled about because you think, we really got to take care of this anyway. And what do the Democrats do? They lead through intimidation, which is what Gary Gensler is doing right now. They want to legislate through enforcement, and that's what Joe Biden is looking to do right now. And the reason that he's going to give you is because he's going to come on the podium and he's going to be like, well, Sonny, cryptocurrency is one of those. Yeah, what am I talking about? Oh, cryptocurrency. Is that Bitcoin? Mabel, is that Bitcoin? Jill, whatever your name is that Bitcoin? Okay, it is Bitcoin. So what we're gonna do, and I think he shakes like this. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna we need the power because all of the youngins and all of the people are trying to make sure that they use all of the cryptos of currencies in order to fund the terror of the ists and the isms and all of those things. And we can't have that happening. We stand with We stand with Hamas, Israel, with Palestine, what God, just what it, Mabel, oh, Jill, what is that? Oh, Palestine, Israel, we stand with it. We don't want, anything. Also, can we have some money for Ukraine? Just another 30 to 50 billion. That's what I think he's going to say. But anyway, I think that's what's going to happen. We're going to see some kind of crazy. I gotta do blah 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 because all the blah 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 blahs are doing some blah 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 blah, and they're not going to be at this point. I don't think they're going to be granted the power. We'll see, obviously, what happens, but I don't think that this one is one that's going to fly. But we should be alarmed that is happening now. On to bigger news. We do have a lot going on here. Ethereum is now slightly outperforming Bitcoin, whose dominance is declining. And if you come over here and look, by the way, Bitcoin 35,375, still just kind of on that pump. But you look at the ETH Bitcoin right here. We had seen we'd seen Bitcoin dominance just skying up here. And by the way, we're gonna have to get to a bigger time frame here. But over the last couple of weeks, you started to see it come back down. We started to have a retracement back to local lows. This was back in June. So we saw this move all the way down here, and now we're feeling a little bit better about our position. Ethereum not nearly as weak against Bitcoin. So we're finally starting to show some strength. What does that mean? Well, that means that Bitcoin is down today so far, but Ethereum is up today so far. Even with the massive spike on Bitcoin, doesn't change the fact that still did happen, that Ethereum is having a nice little run. What does that mean? Well, that probably means that we're getting closer and closer to that altcoin season. Now, that spike by Bitcoin screwed that up dramatically today. I do want to say that. You can see right here, we went from 33 back down to 29. So we're not in altcoin season. We're not getting closer. We're getting a little bit further away, but we did have that nice spike. Now, if Bitcoin retraces, and we're going to be talking about some of the news, there is an expectation that Bitcoin might be retracing quite a bit, up to 20%. And if that's the case, then we would be looking at the number that I keep telling you guys we're not going to, which is 30,000. Which is why these guys keep talking about it. And you can tell, by the way, when you look at the one-day SMA on Bitcoin, there we go, right there, 30,000. It's at 28 right now. By the time it corrects and comes down over a few days, it'll be at 30,000. It won't take that too much longer before it gets there. So that's why they're all talking about 30,000. And by the way, when you look from here to here, that's about 20%. And that's the 20% decline that we're looking at. So that's why everybody's giving you these indicators. But again, I posited to you guys that the last time we touched the 20-day SMA was October 21st. And the time before that, when you look at the time frame right here, you can see here that was 63 bars. That was 63 days. So where are we going to be 63 days from now? Consider at least that we're here. And then that's going to be over here at, let's call that December. So in December on the 22nd, if we just consider that Bitcoin is going to continue running in the direction that it's going, at least, then let's put that right there. And we go back to December 20th, right there, about 30,000. So people are predicting a 30,000 Bitcoin because the SMA is looking like that's what's going to happen. So we'll see what happens overall. But, and we'll start to look at some of these. Caspa still got a price pump. Dubai has made a big time reversal, by the way. If you're holding Dubai, I am holding Dubai. I put $500 in, wanted to be supportive of Wolfie. He's not my friend, he's not my buddy, but he does have I think that a lot of people are fudding a project because they want magic money. They think that they're entitled to like some magic internet money. I don't know that there's a legitimate problem. I haven't heard a legitimate problem. There are things that I wouldn't do that they do. Like I wouldn't be releasing, I think Wolfie's releasing Habibi token. He's releasing like several different tokens. He's got a Wolfie token. He's got a Dubai X, and now he's got a Habibi token. And maybe that's going to be an ecosystem, but that seems like a little bit excessive to me. That seems like a little bit much. But I do think that he's single-handedly pumping the chart right now. So, and I don't know that is the case, by the way. But people are saying that. So I don't have any reason to doubt that that's the case, and I don't think that he's going to be shy about that to begin with. But Let's move on just a little bit. Bitcoin on the brink. Analyst predicts a soaring open interest may signal a 20% price correction. Why is he saying that? Well, it's because there's $16 billion in open interest recorded currently. None of it is mine, as a matter of fact, right now. I have closed everything for the moment because I do think that Bitcoin, I'm not sure that it's going to keep going from where it is right now without a little bit of a correction. That correction that we got last night, we're going to look at the liquidity map. We're going to look at the liquidation. I'll tell you exactly where I think we're going to go. But, right now we got $16 billion in open interest. That means that the derivatives market controls basically everything right now. The CME exchange preferred by institutional investors has achieved a new record in open interest with 105,380 Bitcoin contracts open, valued at 3.68 billion. Binance's edge passes figure with an open interest of approximately 113,500 Bitcoin. Again, that's another $4 billion. Those two right there, $7.6 billion. That is wild numbers right now. So the last time that this happened, the last time we had this much open interest out there, we did have a drop of 20%, which is why the potential exists that that could happen again. So we'll be watching out for that. As of right now, nothing to be concerned about, but it could be pretty soon that we end up with that kind of problem right now. So Bitcoin suddenly adds nearly $1,000 as volatility picks up steam. And again, we're not going to get into the article here, but we watched it as it happened here. This was, by the way, this was a correction to the downside. And let me tell you, I was a little frustrated with my position. And again, remember, I took a $7 loss. Now, it wasn't $7 because it was a loss. I actually had a 50, it was like, I was up 60 something dollars, but there were large fees, and those large fees ate up a lot of that profit, leaving me with a $7 negative at the end of that. But I was willing to take that one because, again, like here's the way I consider it. If I could just do $100 or $200 a day over the course of 30 days, then that's, $3,000 to $6,000, right? And if I can do that, and then I can use that $3,000 to $6,000, and I can be a little bit more risk on, because at this point I'm really just doing it with Bitcoin. If I can do a little bit more risk on with that, then maybe, just maybe, I can get one lucky move to the upside. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to take that 300, turn it into $1 million. It's a bull market. Why not? You know what I mean? So I want to be very, very careful with it in the beginning. There are a couple of there are a couple things that I'm following. First of all, I'm DCAing my way through everything. So if I enter a position, and I probably will enter a position tonight while we're on the stream here, just so you guys can see what I'm talking about, and then I'm going to set a couple of buys down below, and we'll see what happens right there. But when we get to the chart, then we'll start looking at that. But next up, Tether's USDT breaks $85 billion in market cap as the Fed vice chair calls for federal stablecoin regulation. So money coming in, Tether, $85 billion on the sideline, money pumping into Bitcoin, money pumping into alts. We're not there yet, but we're getting closer and closer and closer. The Bitcoin network fails to produce a block for more than an hour. And by the way, the block before that took 43 minutes. That's how much congestion there is on the network. There was over 100,000 transactions pending confirmation at that time, which means that the miners can't keep up with the activity at this point. That is amazing. That is amazing what we're seeing right now. And it's happened time and time before, which is why the Lightning Network was invented, by the way. Here we go. Taj Drija, according to Lightning Network founder, such delayed blocks happen every 85 days, barring any adjustment to the Bitcoin mining difficulty algorithm. Therefore, latest development is not a concern for Bitcoin investors. Sometimes the activity picks up and it gets more difficult. Now, U.S. 10-year yields are down to 4.57, which means that's a good sign for us. And then let's get into the heat map and let's decide where we're going right now. The logical conclusion to whatever this move is right now looks to be in this range right here at about 35,100. That liquidity right there is probably the next step. So we're going to set a buy probably in this range, because it looks like where we're going. And then it looks like we've got another spot up here, and then we've got another one up here at 36,000. So if we're going to go to 36,000, then the correction and the move would be to, I want to say, and look, we're not going to go over 36,000 by too much. So what we're going to look at is 36,052 is an open window right there. So 36,022, so probably 36,050 at a maximum. We might get a lucky swing up into 36,141, but it's not likely. If we make a move, then the likely move would be up into here and then back down to here. That would be that's the logical move at play right now. The other one is the sweep down in here, probably to near 35,000 again, because that'll be easy money, and then a push up into the 36 range. That's the way the market seems to be playing right now. So that's no reason to think that it's going to do anything any different. Now, when we look at the shorter time frames and we look at the 12-hour liquidation, then look at what we're seeing right here. We're seeing a big pool of liquidity at 35,775. There are a lot of people in shorts right now about to get wrecked in this little range right here. In fact, that is the hottest range right now. That's where the most money is pooled. However, you can see that when you draw down, you got 26 and you got 6 right here, and then you basically got empty leverage up to 36,000. The easiest path would be down here because you've got let's go here, 18, 25, 16. So you got little pockets here of liquidity around this 35 level, and that's going to be that's going to be more enticing and more inviting than popping up there and busting a couple of shorts. Excuse me. That because I don't think that that's nearly as much money sitting there ready to go. Now, in the 24-hour, that probably changes a little bit. Yeah, we got a lot more, it looks like, down here towards the bottom when you start looking at the 24-hour. But again, right here in this 35.7 range and 36 range, you still have some liquidity up here. So again, it's either up here and then down here, or the reverse is going to be a quick spike down to this range, and then we'll start spiking our way back up here. 36,022 again seems to be the place. Let's make sure that that's right. Maybe even a spike up to 36,122, 36,123, something like that. Somewhere in that 3150 or 36,150 range is the most likely sort of play out if we get that kind of pump. But we could also just get a move here to 35,770 and then back down here, and then a move back up into 36 as well. You never know what's going to happen. The crypto market does what the crypto market does. If you haven't already, make sure that you are checking us out at Muskrat. Play the games. Invest in the token if you want to. You're going to hold it for a while. We're going to do some cool stuff. We're having a contest right now, competition, but you can check that out for yourself. As far as prices go, 2.54% for Bitcoin for the day, 4.4% for Ethereum, in case you were wondering for this week. If Ethereum is outperforming, it is. But it's still down over the year. 1892 today. I do think we're going to spike to 2,000 pretty soon on Ethereum. So if you were looking to go long on Ethereum, then I would not begrudge you on that. Just right now, for me, that's a more risk-on asset. So I'm staying kind of away from everything. Although, even though I did say that, I did go into this bone long because I didn't think that was going to be a risk. I thought at this price down here that there wasn't a chance that it would go down below that and that we would end up spiking and that it would end up being a good play. And it was. So it wasn't huge, but it was a few bucks and it was easy enough to do. So now let's get back into, let's close that out because we're done with that. And let's close that out because we're done with that. Liquidation heat map, again, like if we look at the longer time frames, are going to tell us a much different story. If we're looking at the bigger time frame, then we are coming down under 34 pretty soon. Like, we have to have that correction, and we should at least acknowledge the fact that, of that pools of liquidity, if we had a radical sweep through here, that would wreck longs in open interest, but that would create an entry position, the likes of which you've never seen before, you know what I mean? Or that you've rarely seen before. And it would cause one of these big spikes happening again. So, I'm going to be careful. I'm going to be, again, I'm going to be risk on for this. I'm not going to take too much of a risk on anything right now. I'm waiting for some kind of move. Now, let's get into the hour chart. You can see right here, there is a move. Now, if we look at this one, and what we're going to have to do, because it did have that move. It did have that breakout. And right now, the Bollinger Band is gigantic. We're seeing a massive move on Bollinger Band, which means that volatility is through the window, right? Fib retracement shows this right here to this right here. We're not touching any of so far. I mean, you can make an argument that we're at 38.2, but we're going to do this for a couple days here. We're going to hold that in position. We're going to lock that in, and we're going to use this as part of our data. I know there's a lot of lines. I don't care. It's my goddamn chart. But it looks like that we've had a nice bounce off of the 0.5. But that would mean to me that we are coming down to that 0.618, because it only stands to reason that we would. Also, if you give it just a second here, then you see that the that orange line right there, that is the heart line for the Bollinger Band. So that would indicate to me that we're coming down to the 618 pretty soon, because the Bollinger Band is right there, the heart line at least. And then you've got the 50 SMA creeping up. So in the next hour, for sure, I would think that there's going to be a dip down here to the 618, but I am not going short in this market right now. That seems like a fool's errand to me. So I'm gonna stay away from that. But also the 786 line, which is the important line for your bounce, right? The 200 SMA is just creeping up here right now. So I got a feeling that 34.8 is coming pretty soon. So if I'm going to get in here, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go 35.240. So what we'll do is we'll go set a small buy at 35.240. So we're going to pop in here, and we're going to go about $200 at we're going to do a limit order at 35.240. Also been doing 30x leverage. We're going to reduce that for now down to 20. Gives us a little bit more dip, a little bit more leeway, just in case something crazy and catastrophic were to happen. Now, so we're going to set that position right there. So now we have a buy set at 35.240. Also, coming back over here, what we're looking at beyond 35.240 is 35.081. So we're going to set another 35.080. And we're going to set another small buy in that range, just in case we come down into the 35.080 range. Boom. So now we got two buys set up right there. And then we want to cover that last piece of that Bollinger Band. And we want to come back down into that 786. And we want to set something here so that we are in a buy at the 786 level. So 34.860 is the number that we're going to go with. So we're going to add another at 34.860. Now we're going to do $200 on that one as well. Actually, we're going to do 350 at that one. And then boom. Okay, so now we've got our buys in. Here's what we're looking at. We're going to DCA our way through here. If it comes down to 35.250, we become a player in the market again. If it comes back down a little bit further, down into right here, you can see 35.241, we become a buyer. 35.081, we enter a little bit more. And down here at 34.854, we enter even bigger than we do before. Now, if we take that into consideration and we say that we got 500 here and we got about 350 here, then we'll probably DCA and be right about here at 35.070. So I'll take a 35. And then the amount that we'll have right there is going to be, again, $800 at 20x. It's going to be about half a Bitcoin is what we'll be dealing with. So every time we move up 100 points, it'll be worth $50. But also the fees on it will be a little bit less expensive. But that is to lower the risk while still staying in the market for right now. That's what we're going to do. That keeps us, I think, at least that keeps us a little bit secure for what I think is going to happen. And I do think that that correction will happen. Now, if I'm wrong, that's okay. I'm cool with that. Like, I'm cool with being wrong. And it's worth, $600-700. That's a little bit of a risk. I don't like the risk. However, at 20x, when I get to 35.078, that means that I'm going to have the leverage all the way down to 33. So It's going to put me down here at like 33.6, somewhere in this range down here. So there's plenty of room for a retracement, and we would have to break way out of where we are. That would take a lot of dump. And of course, at any moment now, there could be some kind of positive news about a Bitcoin ETF. It is my estimation that people are loading up and that they loaded up today because of that. I don't have any confirmation of it yet. But I mean, look, we came down to, we came down to, what was this, 34,660. We were testing this line. We were testing breaking down below this channel. And again, I come back to this one more time. This is our long-term trend line. This is the one that tells us that we're in this bullish pattern, right? We've tested it. We've tested it. We've tested it. We broke through it. We came back up, and now we're using it as support all over again. Like, this is one of the most bullish things that we can see happening right now. So I think this means something good. So the move up here, the RSI way up here. Look at how high this RSI came over here and how far it came down here. Same thing's about ready to happen here in my estimation. If that's the case, then let's come back over here and let's see what happened when that spiked like that before. And where was that? Wait a minute. Let me look at that one more time. We saw that back here on, what is that, October of 21. Yeah, we don't want that. But let's just go with, we haven't seen it like this in a long time. We might have a big correction to the downside, guys. We are super hot right now. This positioning that we're in, like, this is like radically, this is like, this is one of those radical pumps. This was a bigger pump than we've seen in a long time. Like, if this is just the start and we're going to get more just like it, okay, cool. But this is a lot, and that cool off, that cool off might be a little bit, God damn it. Let's just say I don't like seeing it like this. That gets me a little bit nervous. Now, we got the band starting to tighten up here, though, on the daily. Let's start flipping through here. We've got red on the MACD for the dailies. We've got the crossover that went bearish. I think it's going to flip bullish again as we close another candle. When you get to the lower time frame over here, like on the 4-hour, you see that we flipped back into bullish, and we've had a nice little spike to cross back over in a positive. We got a golden cross the other day, so good times on that one. And we got the 1 hour, and the 1 hour is looking super bullish as it sits right now. I don't like the way this thing looks. Like this. Look, so if I'm looking at this right here, then what I'm seeing is something like this right here, it's coming down, and it doesn't have the strength as it's pumping through. But when I see all of these big spikes right here, look at this right here. This kind of resembles the same pattern. And what happened here? We had a secondary attempt right here to retest, and then we dropped. And I got a feeling that means we're going to drop again. Like so I think that again, I'm just reinforcing my own decision here that I think that maybe this is the next thing to do. So I think that's I don't think it's going under 7 by Christmas. No. No, I don't think so. Matter of fact, we'll skip around here. So, all right, we got our buy set over here. So, we'll pop out of that. I don't have anything going on over here on MEXC. So let's what the fuck do we want to do here? All right, so let's I'm gonna sit on the sideline with this one for right now. Just I don't know. I am nervous, but let's start looking around. Let's see what we see. Volt having a little move back to the top of the Bollinger Band, but it's getting very, very tight, which means that there should be a breakout imminent. The last time it broke to the downside. So I would be nervous that Volt, which is consolidating right here at the 3050 level, it could come up here and it could start testing 32, but the more likely play out right now from the looks of it is that it's running pretty hot. And it might be time for a downside correction down to because look, if it flips right now, it's going to be flipping into the positive and bullish, and we're not in an altcoin season. So I would say that this might mean that it's coming down. Dubai is still pumping. So I don't have enough, like I can't, there's no reason for me to pull out right here, right now. But my $500 investment, I want to say, is now 170, something like that. So I'll be watching to see what happens on Dubai. WAGMI games, big spike today, but just declining overall, back down again. Can't seem to get that real traction going. Ethereum looks a little bit different, but I mean, again, like it's got that spike, and then it's got the retest, and it's going to retest right up into here, and then after it retests right here, which is it's dinged off of it twice. If it doesn't break through, then the likeliest play out is back down here for another retest on this band level right here, which is down at 1860, putting you close enough to the 200 SMA to say that you're probably coming down here. Now, if it comes down here into the 1845 or 1850 level, probably go long on it with low leverage just to see if it doesn't spike its way back up here. But that's just a guess. So Caspa, I don't know what to tell you about Caspa other than it just continues and continues and continues to go. I'm not an expert on Caspa. We did do, we did do some research on it, but I'm still pretty nervous. Sitting at 69 right now, that's a little bit hot for this thing. So, I don't see how it can maintain at this level, especially with a $1.2 billion market cap. I think it is right now. And look, it's worthy of the spike. It's not worthy of sitting there at 1.2 billion. Not yet. This is a new blockchain. There's no reason for it to be where it is, doing what it's doing right now. It's even being blocked by Binance and prevented from being in the top 100 because of supply issues, because of concerns that they have about it. So, let those problems sort themselves out. But Link at 13,268. Maybe this comes down and tests at the top. Like, I mean, we're in a new paradigm right here. So the next test, if there is a next test, is going to be at the 834 range. Maybe you wick down just a little bit more to 820 or something. But it would seem like this is probably the area where we're going to bounce off of in the event that we even draw down to that level. So I'd be watching that. Cardano continuing to have a nice little move. Finally, after 9 years, we've been waiting for Cardano to have another big move. Sheeb is, let's call it consolidating. All of a sudden, Satoshi has something to say about everything. So maybe, just maybe, we're getting a correction off of it, because we did have this double top right here. Not a great sign, usually a sign that we're coming down, right? So what happened? Well, we came down. However, we bounced off of the 200 SMA, and it looks like we're on our way back up. So if the market does break out, then, or altcoins have a season, then it does look like SHIB is ready to go. Bone does not look like it's ready to go, by the way. Still fighting under, way too much under the 200 SMA right now. Had a breakout right there, but we failed the test and came back down under. And if you come back under after you test it, then that usually is a bearish sign. So if, by the way, Bone dips down back into this 69 range, then I'm a buyer again. And you know what? Maybe I'll go long for $100 or something like that. Maybe use a decent amount of leverage on it just in case it gets on a nice little run. It might be worth $100 or $200 to do that. Leash, I'm not a fan of, so I'm not doing anything with Leash. Solana is running super hot right now. It's going to take something for this thing to really kind of take off any further. I think a lot of capital that's going to have to come into this market, not associated with Bitcoin. I think that's asking too much right now. So I would be looking for at least a move down into this 36 range, maybe even another retest back here at 33. That seems to be that seems to be like a reasonable level. And if I can convince myself on this 200 SMA, the 200 SMA was coming up here, and now it looks like it's kind of turning sideways, or at least I'm convincing myself it's kind of turning sideways, because I feel like this little edge So I think it's petering out, and that usually means we're going to come under and start testing down here. So Solana, BNB had a nice little correction back up to almost 260 from 210. It was all the way down here not that long ago. Remember, we were talking about this, and I said at some point this thing is going to really break out because it's still BNB, which, by the way, around same supply, Bone only has 50 million more tokens than BNB. Bone is at 70 cents. BNB is at 246. Now, BNB has, of course, burned way more tokens than Bone, but we'll see what happens. Matic having a nice little recovery, having a nice bounce off of it. Matic looks a little bit more bullish than some of this other stuff. However, if I'm making a play and I'm looking at my levels and I'm looking at this, it looks overbought, right? It looks like right here. It looks like that probably has to come back down for a test. It's also in the value area high, which means that a move or a drop down into at least 71 cents would be in store as a test. We'll see what happens. Luna Classic, not having the breakout yet that I'm looking for, but it is. We did have the move up, and then we have the sideways move, and it looks like we're about to move up again. But I'm waiting for some confirmation that we're going to get good news from Genesis and Citadel in the lawsuit that Terraform has filed against it. So going down the line, there's a bunch more, but we're not going to talk about all of those right now. We're going to come over here. We're going to look at Dubai X. Dubai X is at, what the fuck happened over here? That can't be right. There we go. That seems more legit. All right, so Dub is it up 109% on the day. If you got in on Dubai X today, congratulations, you made out like a bandit. Pepe up 1.8%, 1177. Volt at 3086. Bone at 7069. 100X at 1268. Shib 8214. I'm looking at Prometheum Prodigy right now. It seemed like it was having a good run. However, it did correct way back down. I did put a fib retracement on it. So I don't think it's done. I think it's coming back down some more. And that's going to make some people feel nervous because it's going to come off of this. Probably at least down here. And if it comes here a second time, then the people that were in this range are probably going to be selling off, saying, oh, it's going to come down more. So it's going to be, you're going to be fighting this losing battle for a little while. So it's going to recover, I would think, but it's going to have to bounce probably from that line for it to make any sense. Advantis 1403, MUSK 5545, Ben 1295. There was an AMA today with Cassie and Mexi, and that's basically all I know at this point about Ben. Like I don't have, I'm waiting. Cassie was supposed to or said she was going to reach out to me, but hasn't yet. So, maybe we'll see something. I don't know if I will or not. But we'll see what happens. So next up, we've got Saitama down to 9602. The collapse is imminent here. Came up here. And by the way, I told everybody who would listen that were my friends. I sent out messages to every single one of you, and I said, if you're in Saitama, get the fuck out right now because they partner with CoinRabbit, and CoinRabbit will wreck this goddamn chart. And here it is. They partner with CoinRabbit, and what's happening now? Adios, muchachos. So I'm always right. I'm always right. I'm always right. So anyway, and I don't know that it is or isn't CoinRabbit, by the way. I have no idea, but it ran a little hot. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, there we go. All right, so that's it, guys. We did it. We made it all the way through there. I sold a few thousand Bone at $1.79 right before Shibarium launched, and haven't bought more because I can see it going lower than 70. Yeah, that's a matter of fact. I would probably agree on that. That's probably again, but I'm not. The reason that I don't mind buying at another level like that, like at 71 cents or something like that, is because I'm just scalping it anyway. I'm not holding it long term. I'm just, I'm in there for a win to make some money, and then I'm getting back out. What I'm trying to do is accumulate and protect enough capital so that I can take a more risk-based approach. And that more risk-based approach would have a few, hopefully, little payoffs, like a much better run on bone when I see it starting to run, when a couple more, there's a couple more. So, you know what I mean? Believes, are you getting out of Dubai X if you reach your entry? Well, I got into Dubai X because they reached out to me for something that we were going to do something. And look, I mean, I can only talk about so many tokens, right? If they don't like, if they want me to just hold on to it and like, that's not my lane. My that's not my lane. So if I get back to 500, would I pull out? Probably not. If it went to 1,000, I would pull out my original investment. If that makes sense. If we were lucky enough to get a nice little run like that. Well, I don't not trust them. I don't, I don't look. There are plenty of things that go on in cryptocurrency that require you to have patience in a bear market, or at least require me to have patience in a bear market. And I understand. So I put in 500. It's down to 100. I'm not crying about it. I don't give a shit about it. It's only $500, right? Now I want my $500 back. I'm not saying that $500 is nothing, but I do understand that this is a bear market, and when I enter a position, I'm taking a shot. And sometimes when I'm entering, I'm doing it just because they reached out to me and they were like, "Hey, we might want to do something with you." We had a little chat here on Dubai X. I had Johnny reach out to me. I had Aldo reach out to me, and all these people reaching out to me wanting to talk about stuff. And then all of a sudden, it just kind of disappeared. So, and I always want to be involved in something if I'm repping it. And now I'm not repping it, and they're not. I talked to Wolfie, by the way, but I haven't talked. Aldo. I asked him, like, should I even be in this chat anymore? And he was like, "Yeah, well, I'll call you in a couple days." Haven't heard from him. Johnny, I haven't heard from in like 2 weeks. Not that that's bad, by the way. Like, we're not best friends where I need to talk to people all the time. So, but I mean, look, this is a channel where I make money. So if you want to partner with me. If you got a crypto that wants to partner and we want to talk about it every day, or we want to do stuff with them, let's go. If not, then, we're going to talk about Bitcoin. We're going to talk about Ethereum. We're going to talk about major altcoins. And I'm going to ask you guys to sign up for Fairdesk and MEXC and PyNX and BingX, and go to NordVPN and sign up and start using VPN for your privacy, security, and protection. And then if you want to be like, oh shit, I don't even know what's going on right now because I am so high, then Atlas Healthline, that's your place to go. If you want vitamins, if you want minerals, if you want supplements, that's the place to go. So, otherwise, I don't like getting put into a position where I'm talking about meme coins that are not in the bigger alts. So I hope that makes sense. I think, I was partnered with Volt long enough that I wear my Volt gear all the time. I still, I'm going to stay volted on that because, I know Voltoshi, even if we've had prices that were dunked on, that's because the guys up at the top that kept telling you buy, keep getting in. They were selling on you out the back end because they were getting wrecked on CoinRab because they borrowed money. And then they thought that it was okay to just say, well, I'm not selling on the chart. I'm actually selling on KuCoin, or I'm actually selling on MEXC. Well, somebody else is arbitraging over there and coming back over and still wrecking the chart. So pipe that shit down because you look like a joke for that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a fan of it. So, my supplements and medicine come from the same plant. Well, that plant is available at Atlas Healthline. Delta not only 8, but 9. I think it's the one. Anyway, and I talked to Atlas Healthline today. So, all right, guys, that's it. It's not financial advice. My name is Bleaves. I'm always right. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I will see you guys in the morning where we will talk more crypto. If you haven't already, by the way, consider at the Chicago Bears cast, if you want to hear me going off about the Chicago Bears and stuff like that, come check me out over there. If not, then I'll see you in the morning.
I can read a chart like Superman, and I've got a show that has a lot of fans. I'm streaming every day and almost every night. And I bought some Bitcoin cause I see the light. They call me Bleeves, I'll do any chart you want me to. They call me Bleeves, they call me Bleeves. I'll break a crypto wallet down for you. I built a crypto channel with a YouTube stream and all of the YouTube shillers. I'm in a dream, but I stay up late to give my views. And I stay up late just to give you guys the news. Yeah, they call me Bleed. I'll do any chart you want me to. They call me Bleed. I'll break a crypto wallet down for you. Yeah, I don't know what to do because my memberships are missing you. They call me Bleed. I'll break a